Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Mark Simon. I am a patient that used Ambetter health insurance this year for a whole year now, to 2 years. I want everybody to know very strongly that I'm advising you do not use them. One, their customer service will be horrendous. If you take it to a level two management, they will look into it. And just like they did for me, they will say that you are correct in writing and have nothing done for you. And you will get stuck with a same rude caller. That's one problem. The second problem, and most important, I had a rash on a certain part of my body that I won't go into that never got resolved. They expected, after I told them that I will not drive 40 minutes or longer to get to a doctor's visit one way, that is what they expected. So it took me 2 to 3 months for it to go away by itself. The whole time, every week, requesting to talk to a manager, and they never had a manager call me back. Please, even if you have to go out of pocket, go to United Health, go to Keystone, go to Aetna, stick with a name brand that you know, and do not stick with Ambetter. All right, let's start first with I am 50 years old. I have been working in customer service since I was 16. Okay. I have been mostly with food and beverage slash hospitality industry. So, I understand customer service. You hear all the times how, haha, insert laugh track, lawyers don't make the best clients, patients are horrible doctors, when they are doctors, blah, blah, blah. With that said and done, when it comes time, anything customer service related, I do my best to be as patient as humanly possible, especially in 2020, especially 2019 and 2018. You and I both know it's a law happy, world now. Everybody trying to sue everybody and everybody trying to get things. And, it's not the easiest field. We know that, especially customer service. However, going into this, I was a person who had come off of being unemployed and dealing with Medicaid, not Medicare, but Medicaid. And if you're familiar with Medicaid, you understand that usually that means the person, such as myself, is not with a copay because they are limited with funds, especially being unemployed. That means that they usually have a zero copay. They don't have to pay for their prescriptions. I am a diabetic type 2. With me personally, I've been with it for 5 to 10 years now. I go every 6 months to the doctor. I am very diligent. I could be probably a lot better with the food, but when it comes time for my numbers with the A1, for example, my number is at 6.9. You and I both know that's outstanding, you know? Um, Especially that means I'm doing something right. Regardless if I should be eating less sugar, look, we could all be doing something better, okay? But in the grand scheme of things, that's huge. Now, for me, I take a medicine called Stimvastatin. Since I've been with Medicaid for at least probably uh, 3 to 5 years now, and even with me working, okay, when I've been on Medicaid and doing it, I've either been paying zero or basically $2. So I'm paying very little for my high cholesterol medicine. Now enters Ambetter. Ambetter had just started dealing with Pennsylvania. I had never known of them before in my life, to be honest. I got them through the health market, and I figured, okay, you know what? I don't care that you're new. To me, you probably know the business. So let me go ahead and get it. You know, I'm paying basically close to nothing anyway because it's through the health market. So I don't care about that. Now I am caring that I'm now dealing with paying premium every month at 125.85 coming off of paying nothing. That's very, very high. You and I will both agree with that. But after talking to family, after talking to friends, after talking to coworkers, 125.85 a month really isn't that much. Okay, fine. But you and I both will agree, if I need you and you're a rep for that amount of money, you should be giving me customer service to your to the 100% degree. So here we go in a nutshell. You saw the complaint. Let me get down to it now. So I dealt with, uh, just so you know, I just left them in January. Okay. This is even going through the health market this year, which ended the years, December 31st, which meant January 1st, I started the new year. So I went from 125.85 back through health market. I'm dealing with them again at basically half at 53.37. But getting back to this. So a year ago, July, um, they had a reward section. Okay. Um, if you, when you join, if you get by a certain date the flu shot, that'll give you certain number of points. Activating your account online is X amount of points. There were certain, I guess maybe 3 to 4 different sections that were going to get you points. Fine. Okay, so I did a certain amount. Now, this is very important. There is a section for my rewards, and then there's also something about my health. Through my health, they have a section where you get points as well. Now, I am new to your health insurance. This caller, Martine, if you're new or not, you should at least, let's be honest, know the difference between before you take a phone call of my rewards and my health, so you know how to gauge that client. Ergo, when I mention about my rewards, oh, no, it's computer generated. We don't make mistakes. Not now, that would have been fine. I am paraphrasing. I don't even want to get into the yelling degree, the overstepping that he did from the get-go, okay, which put me on defensive, obviously, with me even telling him at one point, you need to stop. If that means you need to break and breathe. I am the one talking. You have overtalked me from the start of this phone call. This is not going to continue like this, and it's not going to work like this. I had to hang up. I got him 2 more times. Finally, I demanded a manager. I was put through. I was told I would get a phone call back by a different caller now. According to Ambetter, if they really take you seriously, it goes to a level 2 manager. I get this woman. Now, Martine was foreign. You and I can deal with foreign accents. I mean, look, I can hear you've got an accent just like to you, I have an accent, but we're relating well. Do you see what I mean? Like right now, you're listening to me. This, I can tell you right now, never, ever happened with Martine from the get go. As foreign as he is literally, let's say he's French, right? He would be what the Americans would call very, very obnoxious, not caring. You know what I'm saying now. Whereas if you flip the script, the French could probably turn around and say the same to me. So, I'm giving that 50-50 to you. I'm using it as an example, not to be bigot and not to be racist, okay? So that you understand where I'm at. So this guy was a different culture. I'm thinking too, maybe it's the culture. But there's a difference, even if it's the culture, to go at least, and I'm not lying here, it had to have been, now mind you, it's over a year ago this July, so I really don't know. I would say at least 10 minutes nonstop of him never letting up, never not interrupting, getting more and more obnoxious. So I called back. I finally get a phone call from a level tier manager. A level two, I mean. And I explained to her, I have diabetes type 2. I have flare ups, meaning my hand will shake uncontrollably if I am in a stressful situation, if very little doesn't play a part if I've not eaten. Okay, it's more under stress or I feel anxious or, whatever word you want to go with that. And so when I was talking to the woman, I explained this. I said, even now, just me having to relive this, I'm getting a flare up. Your health insurance. No client should ever have to, and I am your client. No client, no customer, no guest, whatever term you want to give me, should I ever get a medical condition due to you? And she's like, absolutely agreed. And let's take it a step further. You trained Martine. I don't mean, let's say her name's Susan. Susan, you personally didn't train him. Even if you did, you and I both know he's not taking a phone call unless he knows every facet of what he should know. And let's be honest, for him to tell your new client that that he knows exactly what I'm talking about, clearly he didn't. You even said you went in and saw that I had the number of points. He went in and said I had nothing. That means he's going off of the health side. Well, the health side and the reward side are different. So how well now does he really know his job? And she's like, agreed. We have to look into it. I do apologize. It was protocol for me to give you a call back. I said, okay, now I know that you are recording this. So we're going to do a two-step here, Susan, regardless what your steps consist of. When you hang up with me, you will look into that phone call. You will see how he treated me. And I'm not talking the once or twice I hung up. I am talking the one that is at least 10 minutes in length where you will see, and I'm going on record, Susan, for me to admit this is a huge thing. I am not happy with how I acted. I'm telling you that. But you will understand where it stemmed from. You will see exactly from the gate. He never let up. He not for 1 second did not interrupt me. She's like, okay, got it. I said, do not call me back. I don't need any follow up. If you do it by letter, that is fine with me. Here and in, I am going to go with I will not hear from you again via the phone. No offense to you, but I'm taking an upcoming trip in a couple days. So at the very least, if you had to follow up, do not call me. She continues after. Okay, it was a very good conversation I had with her, probably because of everything I had to tell her, probably lasted maybe 15 minutes, okay, maybe a little more. We hung up. It's very clear how I'm talking to you. Even now, though, you would admit I am not being rude to her of explaining and being a little firm. There's a difference of firm, as you know, and being rude. I had to be a little firm to explain to her I really don't want to waste any more time. For me to have a hand flare up, this is unacceptable. So we hang up. I am not kidding when I tell you I had 3 more calls from her after I requested not, and she said fine. So I never answered. I even got a phone call the day I'm traveling via train, which I told her, so I wouldn't even be able to pick up. And I had to now waste my time for the phone to go through 5, 7 rings before it goes to voicemail because she was inconsiderate. And she's supposed to be a level 2 manager working on my behalf. So after this, I get back to get a letter. The letter states, yes, Mr. Now, the normal question follow up, by the way, not to speak on your behalf, but if I was you or anybody from PIS Consumer, after I'm done with this part, before the other part that ties with all this, I would be asking me, okay, Steve or Mr. Simon, did you save the letter that you're about to ask me? The answer is no, unfortunately, I did not. I wanted to be done with them. The letter stated now I'm paraphrasing just to keep it brief for me and to go on to the next so huge problem I had with Ambetter. Okay, so to end this part of it, it was Dear Mr. Simon, we have looked into the matter. You are correct. Let me stop you right there. And let me also let you know I never got any retribution or reward for being correct. And I had the dissatisfaction of not one, three more phone calls where he was way more obnoxious and just as, excuse the French, shitty. He was a vile piece of crap from the get go and became worse. And this is after I got the letter with nothing done for me and still paying, mind you, 125.85 premium. Okay, which to me is outrageous. So that's step one. Step two then becomes now it's going into the new year. You already see, I'm with everything that's happened and having to deal with this guy about four times named Martine. Obviously, I want out of Ambetter. I don't like him. Who would? With that example? And as I told you, that was the one that I know of because I told you there were the three phone calls I dealt with him after and never reported it. So there's a total of four phone calls that represents the company. I don't want to deal with you. Now you're telling me that if I don't do anything, I can stick with you, but I'm going to pay more in a premium. No, I didn't even want to pay that. So why am I paying you anything else? So now I go through Health Market. Okay. Now I can stick with them. And again, now unfortunately, I have no choice. They're the only company that is showing up lower. So now instead of 125.85 for January 1st, 2020, now I get the pleasure or the displeasure, haha, of paying you 53.37. Fine, I go ahead. Well, you're really going to love this one. So again, this is now dealing with and this is even before I paid. Okay, so this is in January now. No, wait, was it? Okay, somewhere, and I apologize because I really don't remember, but this is how bad it got. It was somewhere between November and somewhere early January, okay, that I ended up with the rash. Not to be graphic, but it's important you follow this so that you know on the body, it was the southern region. So you already know what I'm talking about. You also know it's very delicate. Sure, I'm almost confident it was a body wash. It doesn't matter. You and I both know to be itching like that is horrible to begin with. But when you're a banquet server and now this is before Corona and you're out in public, you can't be scratching down there at all. You know this. Okay. So, and understanding that I was part time with full time hours. So, when you and I are both understanding how severe this is getting now, okay, and it's not disappearing, I'm calling my health provider. They're telling me to go through a certain channel because I called the place in Plymouth meeting around the corner. This is after I called two places that I had to go through them. The first place through them, I couldn't even get through. It went straight to voicemail. The second, I got a guy who tells me they haven't dealt with Ambetter for a year. I could sue you. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. That's outdated info. This is medical information you're giving us. You see what I'm saying now? So I call up, I get this woman who, oh my God, she can't even believe that this is happening. I mention about the suing. She even says, okay, got it. I now tell her, I went to Plymouth meeting. I think it's asking nothing for you guys to now do me the favor and let me around the corner. She calls the place. Well, unfortunately, that's not going to work. I already told her this. I'm asking you to go outside of the box. I'm asking you to get in touch with your people. You have a client that's now telling you, one, he's not driving into the city. He's not doing any more than 10 minutes. This isn't me being unreasonable. Look, there are certain perimeters some of us don't want to do. Some of us don't want to drive in the city because then we have to deal with parking. I shouldn't have to. You should have already had a backup. How many, you go to any other, you go to United Health, you go to Keystone, you go to Aetna. You and I both know you're going to have at least 5 to 20 choices. Doesn't matter what the condition is. dermatology, down to diabetes, down to cholesterol. There's not a topic you won't have multiple choices. For me to have to deal with dermatology and only get 2 to 3 choices, one of them being Norristown, I'm not getting through. Another the only other choice I have now is to go on Roosevelt Boulevard, which is past the city and even worse of a highway I don't want to be on. And I stress that. This woman, I'll get back in touch. I said to her, do not give me any follow up calls. I already told you what happened to me last year. I'm not dealing with you guys on that end again. I'm not now getting a diabetic flare up on top of that. I've already had another diabetic flare up because of your company, because of a rash on my southern region, when you guys should be kind enough to let me go to around the corner. That's not asking that much. And if you guys can't come through, let me go out of pocket and pay me back. I don't think that's being unreasonable in 2020 at 50. I don't. She turns around. She continues to call me back 2 to 3 times. Of course, follow ups that I didn't need, that I didn't want. Now I've got a diabetic flare up along the way. Shocker, because we didn't see this coming. So then beside her, and here she goes. Oh my God, good news, Mr. Simon. I got the place for you. It's confirmed. Want to bet that it wasn't on the Roosevelt Boulevard that I just told you was past the city and just as worse? That's not good news. This is good news? Okay, I'm done with you guys. So I called back. I must have placed 5 phone calls in a month with asking for a manager at least once a week, if not twice. Never once did I have a manager call back. Never. This is acceptable to me. My asking the 1900, which should have been really 195.30, which I can suck up the $5.30. Me asking for the 1900 back is all the premium I gave them. I should not have to pay in 2020. First off, you've already admitted you did wrong on my part. You did nothing to the guy because he never changed his way or how he was. And to find out it was me, I'm assuming he knew it was me, even if he didn't, for him to get more and more obnoxious on every phone call, thinking and knowing he could, that's a problem. That should be a red flag for you guys. You're a health unit. I don't care whether you like me from the start or not. That's my right to be pissed with you guys. If I had beef with you, I'm the customer. You're not. You're health insurance. You're there to calm us down. You're there to make sure that our health needs are met. And for somebody to have been proven right based on how he's treated customer service wise and told even through the mail he's correct and get nothing, that's problem one. But problem two, and first and foremost, you keeping a guy that's extremely rude and not training him any better, because even if you did, you obviously did nothing. It doesn't matter that I didn't follow up. That's step one. Step two, though, the rash, outdated info is bad enough. But then to not care at all for any manager to call me and then to tell me that I'm driving 40 minutes one way. And that's without paying parking, assuming that there's parking in the lot. And I'm supposed to be okay with this. It took 3 months for that to go away. 3. So here's the reason. 1, I never got anything, obviously, done on my behalf from them. Second, they just started with PA last year. They're only going to get more and more. The health market is going to continue to refer people to them. I want people to understand what they're dealing with. This is not, no, I don't care. My point is, even if you have to pay more, go to United, go to a name that you know, and get away from Ambetter, because Ambetter should not be referred. I'm sorry, look at what happened to me. And I'm one individual, and I'm aware of that. But even if you don't get money back, I hope you keep my post up, because that is unacceptable straight across the board.